Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome, astrology friends and family. Welcome to August. Eclipse activity starts now, and also we are in the thick of Mercury retrograde shenanigans as my neighbor's mowing his lawn. Maybe I can edit this out later. Anyway, we're just going to go with it. Yeah, so we're dealing with a lot of planets in retrograde. The outer planets are in retrograde. We have Saturn, Pluto, Uranus will start to retrograde in September. Mercury will be retrograding August 4th, and we won't clear shadow period until somewhere near the mid of September. Also, we'll be getting into the Chiron retrograde soon as well, too. Okay, so let's try and have fun while we can. Leo season, the next few weeks are the time to really keep enjoying, especially with everything slowing down. Vacation when and where we can, time spent with children, having fun, theater, outdoor theater, concerts, putting yourself out there, leadership in the community. Don't be afraid to take those chances, put yourself out there, put your work out there, your creativity. Now's the time with all this goodness in Leo. Love Leo season. I'm an Aquarius rising, so naturally I'm always, loving all things Leo. They're my other end of the spectrum there. Okay, let's get into the eclipses because you will start to be feeling some of this eclipse activity. Now the eclipse will happen in September, but as you may already be aware, the feelings and rumblings of eclipse activity can start happening about a month before, and then it usually kicks off a new 6-month cycle until you have the eclipse in the opposite sign. What we're going to be experiencing is kind of the fading out of the Aries Libra eclipses. The last Libra eclipse will be in September, and the last Aries eclipse will be next March 2025. So we still have, several months to work on those themes of that axis if things haven't been accomplished yet in those areas. We also have Chiron still in Aries as well. Okay, so on September 17th, 2024, we're going to have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces at, let me check, 25 degrees. And this will be affecting those born with Pisces or Virgo placements anywhere from 21 to 29 degrees and 0 to 1 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Cancer, Capricorn, mom and dad, Aries the warrior, and Libra the lover. All right, the eclipse will start to highlight all the things that are Pisces, Virgo, prior to the nodes shifting into those signs by next spring. We will have the nodes of fate and one last set of eclipses wrapping up, like I mentioned, on the Aries, Libra axis for the next 6 months. Okay, so knowing that, this activity can be felt now, I just kind of wanted to talk about that, especially with everything, so many planets being retrograde. Yeah, okay, so in the Pisces area of our charts is where we are going to see some of this activity. After having so much Aries self-directed energy over the past year, pushing us to take initiative and propelling us forward in that Aries part of our sky, and also healing a wound since Chiron has been there. We could have started to be aware of that and started working on that in the past year or so. And like I said, if you haven't done so yet or initiated something of great importance to you yet, don't worry. There are still several months left of this Aries Libra story, especially with Chiron and then also, the nodes of fate and the eclipses happening there as well. So what does this mean? So we will now be taking in and further integrating, the healing process, especially with Pisces and Neptune coming into the picture, forcing us to kind of slow down and integrate those changes that have been coming in internally or externally, slowly or rapidly over the past year. Rahu, the North Node, can speed things up. If you started your own business, for example, that would be like a very self-initiated Aries type of thing. Now and in the next year and a half, you could be developing like a sacred space in your home or devoting a special space to work in that, you can paint and decorate, plants, Doesn't have to be just for business either. It could be a sacred space you use just as your own, like getaway, quiet time to meditate, rest, writing, creativity, listen to music, to I don't care if you just go there to daydream. It will be a really great thing to do. All right, and although with Saturn here in Pisces until 2026, he's structuring those dreams to help you make them come true. So any kind of like blockages you feel that you may come up against with Saturn there in Pisces, it's only to slow you down to make sure that the things that you're putting into place are solid and stable and can withstand the test of time. That's what Saturn likes anyway. The other end of this axis is Virgo, and Virgo will help you. Virgo will help you organize yourself to make those Pisces creative dreams come true. You can pull your projects out of the ethers and put them onto paper, to film, to clay, to actual music, to whatever it is that is your creative inspiration or muse. Lunar eclipses also can be a very emotional time. They can trigger relationship endings or breakthroughs, and even good breakthroughs can be emotional. I feel this time and over the next year and a half, we can really find our way through that Aries wound that we've had, or maybe we didn't even realize that we had it. For example, like maybe Chiron in Aries has been transiting through your second house of self-worth and your face and your earnings, your bank account, what you put into your mouth, and maybe you realize you didn't know that you had a bad habit relating to food, and it's kind of come up to be looked at over the past year or so. Maybe you have an allergy that you found out you had and you didn't know it based on what you were eating, and now you have this time to kind of start integrating those changes. Pisces is very healing, heal your body or whatever might have ailed you. So we could really maybe start to make progress in standing up for ourselves as well. Aries is a warrior. Is not afraid of standing up for himself, herself. We can also have been learning how to not be codependent, and maybe we're starting to make our own money instead of depending on another. Maybe we're healing long-standing relationship issues or issues about self-worth, your body, your identity. These types of healing changes can be very emotional and even in a good way. And if you haven't, like I mentioned, seen these changes yet, not to worry. We still have several months left with the nodes of fate, Chiron, and the eclipses here to help you quickly make changes for the better in the Aries Libra part of your sky. Kind of a grand finale next March 2025. This Pisces eclipse is the first in the cycle, and it's possibly just highlighting or giving that first little nudge of awareness or discontent around emotions, spirituality, relationships, as full moons and lunar eclipses can relate to relationships, your home, your family, motherhood, mothering, as the moon rules Cancer. And anytime you have lunar eclipses, you always kind of look to the Cancer part of your sky and see how that area is being triggered at that time as well. Crisis can happen as we are made aware of imbalances in these areas as well. Some relationships can end for new ones to begin if there's been trouble in those areas. And on the other side, if there have been problems that are being brought to light at the time of this full moon, there may be a path forward to find some healing, and maybe you can grow and progress together if that is something that you're in a relationship and you would want to work on. There can also be fulfillment of creative projects or drama at the time of the full moon, especially with it being the first in this new eclipse cycle. You can also get sudden dreams, downloads, or inspirations about creative projects, music, acting, film, etc. How to help maybe marginalized peoples, issues with the ocean, or maybe you want to start a nonprofit or become part of a nonprofit that helps ocean animals or comes up with fishing net solutions or oil spills. And really interesting note on that, just to kind of show you how the stuff is already starting to come into play, is I went to go get my hair trimmed the other day, and what I found out was kind of cool is that they charge an extra $2, a $2 fee when you're getting your hair, cut colored, whatever. And what they do is they use the clippings from the salon to make these hair mats that then are used to soak up oil spills in the ocean. And they're really effective at it as well. They just kind of, and there's a video you can watch online where you can see that, there's the oil spill, which is horrible. And they put these like hair mats in and it just kind of sucks it up. So already we're going to start seeing these types of things come to the forefront, which I'm really excited about because who doesn't love the ocean, right? Know that if you do come up with or receive, inspiration downloads, that you should act on them not at the time of the full moon, but act on them as in like writing them down. Keep a pen or your tablet or whatever it is you use to write on at the ready starting now. Know that these will be divinely guided, divine downloads. I don't think there'll be anything coincidental about this. Also, with this being the Pisces Virgo axis, and Virgo rules health and organization and service, work, pets, we could have health challenges that might come up to the surface at this time to be healed, or we could have endings to jobs that no longer serve our well-being, with new paths being illuminated to more fulfilling work, or spiritual paths might come through. Maybe you find a need in your community and you decide, you know what, I'm done with administrative work and I want to create my own or nonprofit or become a founder of my own nonprofit and helping children in my community who suffer from, not having enough to eat or clothing or school supplies. And you can start a small movement there, and that would be a really beautiful thing to do. So, just an idea. Okay. Also, what are some other things that could happen? This is also the other end, because we're talking about the 6th house and the 12th house axis. 6th house also represents small pets, and that's in the Virgo house. A pet can have issues or pass at this time if they've been struggling with health issues, but also a new one can come in. New fated pet, and fears and addictions can come up at this time as well. 12th house does represent addictions, and we can find ways to heal our mind, especially with Virgo at the opposite end. We can look for and find a great and destined healer at this time. The Virgo axis can also help you get organized and clean up that area of your life if you are suffering from addictions or bad health habits, and get yourself pulled together, especially if you were in your head too much, or also if you've been unable to pull your dreams, out of the ethers or from your Neptune haze, those ideas and dreams can get lost up there. And Virgo's really good at solidifying things and making it happen. Excuse me. Let's see. Sometimes Virgo does strive for perfection and it can hamper our creativity. So we'll be working on trying to strike that balance, right, of the creativity and the day-to-day work, and trying to balance the two. At this time, you can, and especially now, right in August, we can start meditating. Anything with like water therapy would be good. Prayer, if you pray, and it doesn't have to be religion, it could be whatever God you pray to. Epsom salts, you could clean up your auric field leading up to this full moon. I always suggest safest bet is nature, rest, sleep. I always try to aim for like 7 or 8 hours, and it's almost always a win, especially preparing for those jitters that you can start to get during eclipse activation periods. Having magnesium to root yourself down a little bit and to kind of root down and anchor your nervous system. Magnesium rich foods like black beans and sweet potato and stuff like that. But always check with your doctor or your dietitian if you have any kind of health issues, or if you're unsure if you can eat those types of things. You can also make little simple changes to your diet, like more water, fresh fruits, chemical free food, vegetables. Try to do like a no alcohol. I know that might be hard for some, in these last beautiful weeks of summer that we'll be having. It's hard at barbecue or hanging out at the beach with friends, but maybe you can make a mocktail, something like that. Start working on a creative project. That's another great way to use this energy. Jot down those major insights that can happen now. And this is also a really kind of interesting period where loved ones who have crossed over may start to appear or send messages to you in odd ways as the veil begins to thin. These are just some of the ideas that I'm giving you, and I will describe what the beginning of this new cycle means for each of you in all of the 12 signs, and I will also probably talk more in depth about it the closer we get to the eclipse and, as we proceed with this, the shifts of the nodes and everything else. So, yeah, all right, well, let's get started. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The eclipse in September will fall in your 9th house, a luck house, and this will start to highlight the areas of higher mind and thoughts, day-to-day mind and activities that are your 3rd house of Virgo, and that is the other end of this axis. The 9th house is higher education, higher mind, degrees, publishing houses, contracts, legal contracts, doctors, foreigners, lawyers, long-distance travel, religion, teachers, and gurus all fall here as well. And over the next year and a half, these areas are where your luck will fall, and trying to strike a balance, between that 3rd house of local, everyday community and your local, everyday like thoughts around your neighborhood, home, and whatnot, and community and neighborhood, and trying to balance that out with the higher mind of the 9th house and those other areas that I just mentioned. At the time of the lunar eclipse, maybe the first stirrings of some of these things might start to come up, or the first stirrings of a desire to move can happen, and it would be further afield from where you grew up or your local area, or where you were born. You could already be planning on moving for education, or even temporarily, like for a specialized degree, it's far away and you need to go away for a year, 2 years. Or alternatively, it's far away, but you can take the coursework online at home. For example, you're studying for a course with an astrologer overseas, and but it's through your computer. You're not actually traveling overseas. You're taking the coursework for the degree online, because the 3rd house can rule the internet and internet communications. You can also be writing or working on a writing project, which would be 3rd house, book writing, speaking projects, anywhere where you would use your voice, YouTube series, and the topics might be about like philosophy, religion. You could be doing a podcast series about ocean protection movements, or about, you could even be doing children's books, and this has the potential to be successful for you, or even to bring you awards up there in the 9th house of publishing. It's also a public house, and it's a lucky house as well. The key will be striking a balance once again between your 3rd Virgo house of organization and detail to the written and spoken word, and then the higher up house of the 9th of the mind and more loftier views, and not getting caught too much in the detail that you miss the opportunities up in the 9th house. Since it's a lunar eclipse and the moon is involved and it rules you, it could be an emotional time involving the 9th house area. Maybe you get an opportunity to travel far away or overseas and will be gone for a while, and it will separate you from your home and family, siblings, friends, or even a partner. And while it's for happy reasons, it could still have you feeling a little bit sad and emotional as well. Or, maybe you have to leave an apartment that you love and you're moving now for an opportunity, or will be moving for an opportunity somewhere at a longer distance over the next year and a half. On August 4th, the new moon in Leo will happen at 12 degrees in your 2nd house of bank account, land, what you eat and own, immediate family, farming, throat and mouth. Also, self-worth lies here too. You could be looking at new beginnings in how you earn money, especially with the eclipse activity kicking off in September, affecting that 3rd house of Virgo of writing and communication, and your 9th house. Also, the 3rd house is a small business house. In your 9th house of where Pisces is, of publishing and teaching. And maybe this looks like a new career around writing children's books. I know I mentioned that before with the eclipse activity. This also heals a reputation or career wound in the 10th house of career and reputation and what you're known for in the world. Since this new moon will be trining your Aries 10th house, that is currently containing the North Node and Chiron here. Also, you have had Venus and the Sun and Leo in your 2nd house,
And maybe you've been making dietary changes and it's positively affecting the way people are seeing you, or possible cosmetic or teeth procedures to beautify your face and mouth. And you could be healing a self-esteem issue there as well, or self-worth, and can be seen, as an opportunity can come through now that offers, great pay. Sorry, I didn't mean to blend the two. I know I was just talking about your self-esteem, mouth, teeth, those types of things you could have been improving or working on. It affects your esteem and then how you present out in the world. Sorry for that mix up there. All right. A new opportunity can come through the second house that offers great pay and affects how you feel. Again, affecting your self-esteem, being more independent financially, and it changes your title in the 10th house as well. On August 5th, Venus moves into Virgo until August 29th. And on August 7th, Venus and Mercury make a conjunction at 3 degrees, affecting Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising from 0 to 8 degrees. Or if you have placements in Virgo or Pisces, it will affect you as well around those degree areas. Mercury is retrograde from August 4th to the 27th, but you can still benefit from Venus and Mercury in your third house of neighbors, sibling, cousins, marketing, business, writing, books and vehicles, and social media. Maybe, for example, you find a new car, but just don't sign for it unless it's like an old opportunity, an old contract that's coming up for review. I would really suggest waiting until September when Mercury is direct and is cleared shadow period. Maybe love and money can come up through via text messages, emails, socials, or opportunities to make money. The days that this is in effect for are August 5th to August 10th and coming exact on August 7th. You could also be working on an old project that you love and just be in the flow with it, or gain a financial win, or maybe even a lucrative contract. And you can get news about it around these days, or for an old project that you had kind of dusted off and worked on previously. On August 19th, the full moon in Aquarius at 27 degrees affects the late degree Cancers from about 22 degrees and up. This will take place in your 8th house of other people's money, deep intimacy, investments, shared resources. Traumatic experiences can also be buried here. And any of these topics can reach fullness or be brought up and out of the light into the open at this time. This full moon is receiving hard aspects from some of the outer planets, and if anything hard or toxic or bad news comes up suddenly, I say suddenly because Uranus will be in the mix at this time, don't take action. I would just wait. Full moons are always very emotional, and especially for Cancer, because Cancers are ruled by the moon. Not to take immediate action. You wait until the dust settles. The moon does move quickly, so keep that in mind. This aspect will not last long, but it will reveal whatever may be coming up around some of those topics that I mentioned. Whatever is revealed to you, you can start to plan on how to handle the situation, and maybe it can be something like unsavory news around a friendship group, or something is revealed there, or you may withdraw and want to, just kind of bide your time and wait before you completely disengage from a group if you found out something, you didn't like about them, until you start to see the bigger picture, because Neptune will be in the mix, kind of clouding information that comes through at this time, especially too if you're receiving this news through the internet or through electronic means. Maybe it's bad news about investments related to Aquarian topics like internet-based projects. I hope this isn't the case, but maybe you were tied to a group of people in business or investments, and things were kept hidden from you, and you find out at this time, and you need to leave this group and cut your losses. Could be a bad land investment or a bad property investment as well, as Uranus is in an earth-based sign, Taurus, at the moment of this full moon, and Uranus also rules this full moon because Uranus rules Uranus rules Aquarius. On August 22nd, the sun moves into Virgo until September 22nd, your third house, where Venus will be a few more days and where Mercury will pass through once again, highlighting all things local business, day-to-day communication, local travel, siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Maybe you take a small trip to a nearby lake with family, and it will be a good time. With so many planets retrograde, it'll be a good time away, and especially if anything came up of difficulty at the time of the full moon in Aquarius. You could also be organizing for business or writing or speaking projects that are under financial contract as well, or just simply feeling better after that difficult full moon. This house really should be your focus, the third house, for joy and fun and to lighten things up over the next few weeks. You could have been focused on a lot of banking and money and trying to figure out how to make more money. Well, you had all those planets in Leo in your second house, and now your mind is starting to turn to brighter topics, more fun things. And maybe a getaway is in store with a friend, maybe a getaway to a cabin or a beach house with siblings or cousins or family before summer's end. On August 27th, Venus in Virgo in your third house will exactly trine Uranus in your 11th house of Taurus. And this happens at 27 degrees, so this would affect Cancers, late degree Cancers, and this aspect sextiles you. So this could be good money news, as the 11th house is a lottery luck house. Maybe buy a local lottery ticket or enter a local contest. This day is the third house where Venus currently is. Venus also rules money, is local community. So maybe purchase a local raffle ticket or a state lotto ticket. Just don't go and break the bank. You can also get sudden positive recognition via internet or written projects, podcasts, YouTube video. Maybe a video goes viral at this time, as Uranus rules the 11th house and is currently in its own home. You can also get news about a property investment or land. Suddenly can come through as well. All right, take care, Cancer, and we'll see you in September.